Ramon.
Hi, Mindy Hahn. It's time to go live.
It's good to see you again. Another great day.
I'm alive. I'm hanging in there. Trying to make it through this show.
Right.
I've got to get plenty of rest because I got a big night ahead of me. I don't know if you know what's going on here in sports where I live, but big deal. Big deal going on.
Right.
Tony was nice to me yesterday.
He was very gracious in defeat. So
threw that little pennant fever thing at him. Maybe
that was pretty funny.
I've been under the weather, so maybe
right now that was funny.
That's what I have, and we'll talk about that game tonight. We'll talk about, and how about we got two games. You know, when I was a kid, Mindy, if there was ever a day baseball game, I always called out of school so I could watch it because they'd have it on like ABC TV or because it was on because that's how they did it back then. It was on national television every time. And sometimes the games would be, in the afternoon because they only had like the American League Championship Series and National League and stay home for those day games. That's what I like to do, and everybody knew. I mean, that was education. I was educating myself for the future. And
you said you and your mom, you would go to lots of games, right?
Oh gosh, I mean that. As a mama's boy of a single mom, and we went to the World Series before. We went to all 5 games of 1984 World Series, and by the time Game 5 rolled around, the Padres were getting their heads bashed in by the powerful Detroit Tigers. But my mom never even made it into the last game. I was there by myself. Apparently, she was watching at a place across the street where you might have some adult cocktails. And,
right.
Never even saw her. I was only 15 years old. I never even saw her until I got on the plane. So I don't know if that's good parenting. She took me to the World Series, but then left me. But that's I don't mind. I mean, I am here today because of because of our whole relationship and sports and all that. So, like I said, I was educating myself, and look, here I am, a successful YouTube handicapper with our own show. And it only took me like 35 years to get here with you. So I appreciate you every day being here with me for more morning steam. We got a busy day planned, and I don't want to talk too long about. Nobody cares. I mean, nobody cares, but we do care about what happened yesterday. In mostly, we could talk about what happened with the Yankees and Cleveland, but we'll get to that in a moment, I guess, right? Who cares? We'll talk about a rainout. So we talk about football and another under, Mindy, another primetime under, another division under. That referee goes under. I got a note here, 9-29 with that referee. I didn't know, I didn't research that, but after I saw that, and unders are hitting just over 60%. I mean, do we even need to do a show? We could just sit here and say under in NFL games. I'm already an under guy, but I don't know. Was it an entertaining game last night, or was it poor play? That crew, by the way, they have one of the lowest rates of calling penalties, even though they seem like they were quick with the hankies and maybe making bad calls. I guess it shows everyone, even the official. We say officials can have a bad day, or these guys suck, whatever. But those guys have a penchant. That guy's crew doesn't call penalties. They were the Super Bowl crew last year. They also have some of the fastest games with the lowest scores because they don't call. But last night, that was, I believe, one of the most penalized games, if not the most penalized game all season.
Well, the way I saw it is early on, it looked like they were missing a lot of penalties. And then they kind of picked up as they went. Then they started calling those, pass interference and things like that. But my takeaway is that defensive, team or squad for Denver is good. They really brought it to Herbert there. I mean, it probably doesn't help that his, center went out, but Herbert to me just didn't look right. I think I kind of mentioned that to you. I mean, he has one of the bigger arms in the NFL, and when he has trouble hitting it, 50 yards for a Hail Mary, he's always hitting his checkdowns, not airing the ball out. When he did, it kind of looked like a, lame duck. I think he's not as healthy as they say, as I kind of watched the game there go on. But again, Denver is having a horrible time, scoring. And I don't know how that's going to get any better. I like Latavius Murray. I think maybe they should just give him the ball a little bit more as well. But I mean, they kept on talking about it, right? I mean, you're off a bye and you still haven't been able to figure anything out. So luckily that defense came to play for Denver.
I'm all about the teasers, Timmy. To tell you the truth, I probably throw in a lot. I kind of break the rules too when it comes to teaser betting. People say, "Oh, only tease through key numbers and whatnot." I don't worry about that. I worry about, is it going to be a close game? What do what's potential for blowouts, things like that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, nothing impressed me anymore. Yes, I had Denver, not they weren't impressive. I guess defensively against a Charger team we know can score points. Palmer's was my favorite player in the game. I think he looks like a fun receiver for the Chargers that's emerging. So, and then we had issues with the kicker and all that. So. Also, Mindy, the hockey card. Well, what can you say? What can you say about our picks yesterday? 3-0.
Pretty good
here on the morning steam.
Right. Pretty good.
Let's go on over to Tony'sPicks.com and look at that. I think is what we should do, and take a look at our record from yesterday because we were clicking, and hopefully we continue to click today.
Right.
Again, you get all of our consensus picks right here on the show. But if you miss them, you can subscribe to them. If you only catch us a couple of times a week or can't make it back, you can always catch, and let's bring it up on screen here. Take a look at how we did. Yep, there it is.
Hey,
morning steam 3-0. We went 3-0 in our picks on the show. And also another good day for Nick. He's red hot. Look at his 30-day number there.
Yeah.
1,500 units. Sam continues to be hot. I'm the hottest capper for the last 7 days, 27 and 14. I had premium winners yesterday in the NHL with the Kings. You mentioned that hokey goal they had. They kept coming back at least, and every time they would score, they kept coming back. So they were kind of in control of the game despite the way it ended. I had Colorado.
It was the slowest goal of all time that crossed the line there.
Yeah. Yes, and as far as we're concerned, I mean, how about the Arizona pick? I mean, look, that was one of the biggest upsets in the NHL in years. Right. They said, I believe, even, as many as 8 years. So we were on that with Arizona yesterday, the Arizona Coyotes against Toronto. And we mentioned we had the under in the Monday Night Football game. And I think we had, Carolina. Carolina dominated. Yeah, Hurricanes dominated Seattle there. So good night for the morning steam. How about that?
Yeah, and I was off to a good start in hockey, went 3-1. So I had a good day there as well. My only loss came in the Jets. And yeah, he said his Avalanche got the Wild. So the Wild, it's the first time they started 0-3 and quite some time. So yeah, it was a good day overall. And we, of course, were on opposite sides of that Monday Night Football game. Or we would have flip-flopped records there. I would have been, 4-1. You would have been 3-2.
Yeah.
So a good day by us, actually. And it looks like a lot of other folks here in the chat room as well.
Yeah. Thanks for that comment there. Again, yeah, I thought the video plays were, I believe, profitable as well. So good day in hockey. There were some clunkers in there, certainly, when you're picking as many as we were. Pittsburgh flopped totally at Montreal, but you had the total there. I think we won something in every game. I had Washington, right? You had Boston in the free picks. I gave out that under on Tony's show in that Arizona game. I had the over in the Kings-Detroit game as my free pick. So free picks galore did well. How about that?
It's good.
Pretty good day. Maybe a few people will watch our show. Appreciate everybody joining us in the chat. wait for a few more people to get in, and we'll get started. But appreciate the numbers. Continue to go up here on the morning steam. Your first look at the card each and every day, beating all the other shows out there on YouTube. They're all going to come along later after everything's settled down, and they're going to watch our show and get their early pick. But I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling contrarian. Maybe I have a stuffy head, symptoms and stuff like that. So, take that for what it's worth. Yeah, we got you, Timmy. We got you. All right. Head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20% off all premium pick packages. Nick's got a guaranteed play up there in the NBA tonight. It's opening night. We don't want to bury the lead here, Mindy, as the games get started. But there's just 2 games tonight, and I think they've been bandied about by the public pretty much for the last, couple of days. As we get ready, Nick's loaded up on best bets right there. The GM's got best bets. Paul's got best bets. And Tony, he's got best bets coming up today as well. So also don't forget about our 3-packs up there for tomorrow. Daniel's got a 3-pack already loaded. Ben has a 3-pack already loaded. And the $15 plays, as I mentioned. Click on the All Cappers tab to get signed up. There you'll find all of our profiles and our previous records kind of sitting there in algorithm form. There's our morning steam team. And welcome to our newest capper, Brandon. We're excited to see what he brings to the table today. He's been involved in the contest over across the street, if you will, and appreciate looking forward to seeing what he has for us too. Welcome, Brandon, to Tony'sPicks.com. All right, Mindy, we got to get started on this show certainly because there's a lot we've put up. I don't know. I hope I can make it through. I will make it through. This is what motivates me every day to come see you. Blake says, what percentage of unders on all games currently? I want to say it's 61% currently. 59 and 36, 59, 31. Okay, something like that right now. Maybe I can get it for you by tomorrow, Blake. But it is under City so far, which is good for, I don't know, I got a pretty good NFL record so far, and maybe because I've been hitting some unders, but I've been playing some overs too. Don't do that. Let's just play unders.
Let's play the unders, yeah.
Well, every game is different. We know that. The key is to hit those overs when they go over, right? So
that's exactly right.
Yeah. And take advantage of line movement too. Don't forget to look at those games that move higher a little bit. If you were looking under, when we see, because NFL has less line movement, but it's significant in the NFL because we always say, oh man, the NFL is just the craziest thing, but gosh, doesn't it seem like they all come down to the wire one way or the other? So take advantage of those shifts and the moves. Try to track it and see which way the line is going. If you can, stick with us right here, and we'll try to keep you on track with that. So, anyways, big things we're doing today: NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball. We're going to start off with, and then we'll continue our coverage of college football with the early games on Saturday. Those for 12 Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific and 11 Central. We'll do 9 games today. We already did all the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday games on yesterday's show. If you're looking for that, you can go to the Tony's Picks YouTube channel and see those there. And Tony also has already 2 shows, parts 1 and 2 out for about 18 games as well so far for Tony. So you better get your handicapping started early. Get on those lines early. Don't let it move away from you. I mean, I don't want to hear that from anybody that we missed out on the line because we waited. Now we're kind of we've got to pick them as they come, Mindy. Right. That's what we do it here. But again, take a look at how our picks and if the line moves as well. Let's get ready for the free picks rapid fire as we get into these games, and appreciate everybody's comments in the chat. Thank you so much. Mindy, we're going to start with Major League Baseball after what happened last night. We don't have to go too much into this if you want. I imagine we will make another video, though, with the game because things have changed. Actually, my pick may be changed, actually, given the scenario, because we know one team, kind of weird, right? One team wanted a rain out, the other team didn't. I don't put the Twitter was kind of going crazy. You know, they said, "Oh, the Yankees were actually the players were already home, knowing that there wasn't going to be a game while the Cleveland players sat around at Yankee Stadium." Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I guess that we'd already hear if that was indeed the case. But, anyways,
Well,
we're going to
Cleveland didn't have any homes to go to, so maybe that was the case, right?
no, right. Why go back to a hotel room and get free hot dogs or whatever you want to do in the while sitting around waiting? But you got to get right back there today with Savali, and is it Tyone now?
That's where it was yesterday. You know, I mean,
the talk about Nestor Cortez being able to see some innings today as well. You know, the Yanks. It's all showing Cortez as a probable now. So I don't know. We can change that, but I'm sure the situation, you know, is going to be that for the Yankees and well, Cleveland. I mean, it's all hands on deck. I mean, let's face it. This is the critical game. I'll change it to Nestor Cortez. However, I don't know if that affects your handicap, but
no, it doesn't. I'm going to stick with my pick from yesterday.
Go ahead and tell me about that.
Yeah, so
I know you have.
I took the Yankees to win the series here at home. You know, I like them, even though, you know, Cleveland, they've played really tough. They've given, you know, a really nice showing here. They were able to, you know, hang into games, a scrappy team. And again, you have a Yankees team that, you know, basically they're just all here about the long ball. They're hitting 177. But again, you're playing at home. You have Cleveland's number. Yankees have all the experience here in the playoffs. I like the Yankees.
All right. I guess I just don't necessarily like the number. In fact, it's even a little higher than what I have listed there at 160. What I did was actually just left yesterday's up there because the total right now is also 7 under 20. And even though I'm not getting the best of the number, and yesterday I preferred the over, actually. And I got to, you know, hope I didn't screw anybody up. I hope they don't miss this show and say, oh, that guy said over. But given the situation now, given the one day coming back on a day game, I prefer the under in this situation now. I hope that doesn't, you know, screw anybody up or anything like that. But now with the weight resting of the pens a little bit, we know Cleveland's got the little bit hotter pen. I like Cleveland kind of at the price, but again, my free play is going to be on the under here in this one with Cleveland and New York, the final game. And of course, that's a day game today. Everybody, don't forget.
Right.
All
I know I liked it on the game tracker last night. You know, on the site, it kept on saying game will start in 34 minutes. Game will start in 16 minutes. Game will start in 54 minutes.
yeah. And I had, you know, open on my tweet deck and it kept, you know, pushing it back or whatever. But, you know, it just seems like, you know, you're not going to start a game that late.
10 o'clock at night. Yeah.
So we'll see how it affects the winner. We'll see how it affects the winner. And we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Should be a good one though.
Tomorrow. I mean, this game is just 3.5 hours away, right?
Right.
Or, no, it's a little more than that.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about it some on the afternoon show here.
Yeah. All right. Again, the game one of the National League Championship Series, the Philadelphia Phillies and the San Diego Padres. The Phillies with Wheeler, San Diego Darvish. This is a great pitching matchup with these starters, and I'm excited. Can't wait. What do you have to say?
Yeah, so it's going to be who is going to be the Cinderella story, right? To make it to the World Series. It's crazy that these two, you know, teams took out the Braves and the Dodgers. I mean, that's pretty awesome, you know. But Wheeler, he threw 7 scoreless versus the Padres in May. Darvish allowed 7 runs in 19 innings versus the Phillies here this season. You know, I just really don't like the Phillies here in this spot on the road, even though they've won the last 7 of 9 here in San Diego. The Phillies are actually 43 and 42 on the road this year, while the Padres are 46 and 37 at home. So they do play a lot better at home. And then if you take a look at Padres versus right-handed pitchers, they're 239 That's a 53% win percentage versus the Padres that have a 56% win percentage versus right-handers. So I'm going to go ahead and give a slight edge here to Darvish and those Padres here today at home. Go
All right,
the Fighting Ramones.
let's go. Let's go. Uh, uh, LFGSD. Can I say that? Can I do my own hashtag on there? Is that? I would do that. But for me, I think I'm going to go over though in this spot. This series has gone 22-9 to the over here with these two teams, which is kind of bizarre. In San Diego, under is usually what happens. But in this stadium, and I know these starters, are quality, but we're seeing clutch hitting right now by these teams. I mean, obviously Bryce Harper, talk about an overlooked super. I mean,
yeah, right.
I mean, this guy is one of the biggest names in the game,
but just been injured so much.
Yeah, but again, kind of over his accomplishments in the last series were just incredible, and we're not talking enough, I think, about Bryce Harper right now. What he's done so far in the post, with that last series, he really was mashing. So I think that this one can get over, especially now that we're talking about a 6.5 over 25. You could take it at 7. I would be okay with that, especially a juice 7. You can get over that, but again, you might tie if it lands on 7. But my free play will be on the over in Phillies and Padres tonight. Start of the series. Let's go Padres! Yay! All right. Well, hey, if NBA is your thing, let's get the season started. Mindy, we're going to talk about so many games this year, starting with this one. And a lot of talk because of these two matchups. These are the two that, waited for, and here we are. The Celtics, they've got their own issues coming in. They probably would have been a bigger favorite had they not had some injuries coming in, some drama coming in. And the Sixers, meanwhile, remember, Boston's still the favorite in the East, but all of a sudden the Sixers are the team that everybody's talking about because Harden is going to be healthy and ready to go. I mean, okay, I get it. He's still, I don't care if he's, out of shape and chubby, he's still going to chuck it up there and things like that. And of course, we know that their big man is going to have an outstanding season. Maybe if he's healthy, this might be his best season ever is what we're looking for, I would think, with Joel Embiid. So we're ready to go with the NBA season.
We are ready. And that's, you kind of went through some of the storylines there, right? I mean, the Celtics are this new look team now with a new coach trying to get back to the finals here once again. They just want to be tough on defense. I mean, they were first last season for a reason. They're also really good at shooting the three, and at home here in this game. It's one of those things like I look for Philadelphia here to try to, spread the floor. But you talked about Harden, right? I mean, with Harden, defensively, the 76ers actually got worse. They were ranked like 14th when they were always sitting around 10th or so before in defense. I just think tonight the Celtics are going to be too much. I like the Celtics here, -2 at home.
Well, I'm glad you're on the Celtics because I felt like, everybody rushing to the window to play the Sixers. It feels like to me, the Sixers are the public side here. And that kind of bothered me a little bit, coming into this game. Like I said, the Celtics are still the favorite to win the Eastern Conference. Now, granted, they won't have the Time Lord tonight, and that's a big, big deal. So I think this one actually could end up, being higher scoring than people might expect with these two teams because he makes such a big difference defensively, especially because of the greatness of Joel Embiid, and he could obviously go. Maxi's the best guard on Philly. Everybody knows that by now, right? So Harden, he's getting older, right? I mean, every year has been declining, kind of as far as percentages and things like that. So I like Boston with you, Mindy. We're going to be again. I think we're against the public here. tonight. It seems like everybody wants to play the Sixers, but I don't want that. I want Boston on opening night. It's going to be, exciting, obviously, great crowd. Philly's great. Philly, this is going to be a great series this year with these two teams. But I think you're getting a little bit of value here tonight with Boston, even with Williams out. I still want to take Boston in this opening game, and we're going to have a consensus play to start it off.
Consensus.
Started off the season. We were 3-0 yesterday.
That's right.
Play our consensus plays. Subscribe to our consensus plays in case you miss them. All right. Well, we got the nightcap and more storylines. Maybe that's why they picked these teams. They have the most interesting storylines, maybe? I don't know.
Right.
The Warriors with their drama, if you will, coming into the season. Draymond Green has apologized. I kind of look at Draymond's apologies as, he'll do it again and apologize again. I don't think his apology was probably insincere. In fact, he took the time to actually apologize to Poole's family, and call himself a flawed human. And look, he's right. I mean, especially, like I said, his courtside demeanor is less than professional, but he's a winning player that has proven his greatness on the court. The Lakers have their own storylines with their aging team and their, I don't know, I'll still call it bad chemistry. I'm a Lakers fan, from way back, just because that's what we got on TV when I was young. I don't know. I don't really have a team because in San Diego, I like the Clippers too. So I don't know. Can I like both LA teams? Anyways, as far as betting is concerned, I'll like half the teams half the time usually. And with the Lakers here, you still got the cancer, in my opinion, that is Westbrook. We saw that little incident in the preseason game where he didn't want to huddle up. But we was just saying, it's a preseason game, not huddling up. Then you got LeBron and AD saying huddle up. Not a good look. So what can we expect tonight in the opener with the Lakers and the Warriors?
Yeah, well, you could live, in the Midwest and you can have like 0 teams to root for usually. So, growing up, I was always just a big fan of the rivalries, right? So you had,
the Kansas City Kings, Mindy? Not quite that old like I am?
I am not quite that old. But yeah, so I always like the, Pistons versus, Celtics, Bulls versus Pistons. Those were, the big ones back in the day for me. My uncle was always a Celtics fan, kind of gravitated toward that, but I also loved Michael Jordan. So kind of probably more of a Bulls fan than anything else. But yeah, Warriors versus Lakers here. New head coach for the Lakers, high expectation. The win-loss total is 45 for the Lakers this year. It's the 8th highest. So Vegas, they're actually expecting a little bit more out of this team. Maybe the Lakers can stay healthy here as well during the season. Golden State, again, is returning their core. Their over-under total is 51.5. They had 53 last season, so maybe they can continue with something like that. They're really talented. They score a ton. I think both of these teams are going to show up tonight for this rivalry. I think it's going to be a fun opener. I think it's going to go over this total of 225 tonight. They put up 235 last season. It's 4-0 to the over in the last 4 head-to-head, 5-1 for the Warriors in the last 6, and 8-3 in the last 11 for the Lakers. I like the over 224.5.
All right, yeah, the Lakers are going to have to, contribute to that, obviously, as underdogs. So I'm going to take the Warriors in this one. I'm not sold at all on the Lakers at this point. I think the Warriors are still a good team. I was on the Warriors early last season to, make this type of the run that they had. I was not sold on the fact that they were, trying, because look at the personnel. It really wasn't changed. They were just trying to get healthy. Clay was out all those times. You had the situation with Curry and him finally coming back and being healthy and things like that. And, it all paid off for the Warriors in the end. So they were still, look at the quality of this team, still moving forward. And they'll have a ceremony tonight and all that and blah, blah, blah. So, I like the Warriors tonight. I think they can, they might blow out the Lakers here, which might help you. get to that total. And again, I think you're getting some value. I mean, the early line in the off season was 229.5, so saving a full 5 points there. This team's come in on the under. There's no doubt about that. But I like the Warriors here, and Mindy likes the over. So we're underway in the NBA.
There we go. Got to start somewhere, Ramon.
Yep, bigger cards to come. All right, let's head over to hockey. And why not? I mean, it seems like we are hitting right now in hockey. We don't care what sport it is. We're going to cover every sport here on the morning steam, at least the major sports. And right now we're looking pretty good on the ice. So
right.
Let's start it off. I'm going to bring up the goaltenders here on my screen over here in case I have any changes. I think there's only been really one confirmation, so I mostly have the main starters in there. And if anybody knows anything else, put it in the chat. If anybody's already seen on Twitter or something out of our couple dozen viewers or whatever, please mention it in the chat. Let's get the goalie right on the screen, and so when people come back and watch later. But again, I've only seen, I think, one goalie so far actually confirmed. Anyways, we'll start off with Vancouver and Columbus. And Columbus here is a favorite. I'm also going to call it the odds. Columbus here, $1.15 or so. Total 6/15.
Yeah, the battle of the 0-3s here. Someone's going to get that first win. Neither team's particularly, good here. Denko, he's 4.48 goals allowed, 4.50 goals allowed for those Blue Jackets. I mean, each team, they're allowed 14 goals against. The overs hit in the last 3 of the Blue Jackets' last 4 games versus the Canucks. So I'm going to go ahead and look to the over in this one. It's 9-4 in the last 13 meetings. If we look at this in a wider lens, I'm going to take the over 6 today.
I'm down with that, Mindy. Definitely. I'm definitely down with that. Look, both teams have struggled, obviously, so far at 0-3, and they don't have very good defenses, I think, so far. I think this probably should be a 6.5. I have it adjusted the line there about 5 cents. It's now 6/20. And notice I've also put the favoritism towards Vancouver. Looks like Vancouver is taking money already because Columbus was up to as high as $1.20 or so. And right now I'm starting to show Vancouver across the board moving in as the favorite. Now, I don't know if maybe Merzlikins isn't going to be in goal tonight. And Vancouver could be Spencer Martin in there in goal, which to me is interesting because he's not Thatcher Demko. But again, I'm going to put Martin down right now in there as well. But it's not going to change my opinion. In fact, it might enhance it here. Maybe that's the key. I just saw some information that said Martin could be in goal. Don't know if it's Demko. Don't know if it's Martin yet. Looking at the shift to Vancouver would indicate maybe that Demko is in there. But I agree with you. Let's go over 6 as our play in Vancouver and Columbus. Both teams 2-1 to the over so far in those 3 losses that they have. Okay, Boston and Ottawa. In this one, Ottawa favored. They're up to $1.20 now, 6/20.
Yeah, Bruins and Senators had the Bruins there yesterday. If you look at it here, Ullmark, he's averaging 2.5 goals allowed. Forsberg, 2.56 goals. The Senators ranked 32nd in the league at goals for, a shooting percentage of only 4.69%, ranking them 3rd. You also take a look at, shots on goal. They're almost, last in the league as well. I'm going to look towards the under in this one. The under's 4-0 in the last 4 meetings. The under 7-1-1 in the last 9 in Ottawa. I'll take the under 6 in this one.
All right. Yeah, it could be Swayman. It could be Ullmark. I think that, right now the news might be having me 50-50 on that, but I've listed Ullmark, but I've seen Swayman on some of the sites so far. Boston's obviously off to a great start, and Ottawa doesn't have a win yet. Boston 8-1 in Ottawa the last 9 trips. Boston's going over and so far in all three of their wins, while Ottawa's gone under in all two of their losses, in both of their losses. So Boston's won 14 out of the last 17, and they're an underdog here or an even money proposition. I'm not necessarily going to be concerned with the goalie here, and I'm going to come in with Boston. I like Boston to win this game in Ottawa tonight. Anaheim coming in. It could be Stolarz in there. I'm not sure, and it could be Blackwood for New Jersey. Mindy, I typed in these goalies a couple of hours ago, and I'm starting to see some maybe some movement there. So I don't know if it affects your handicap. Nothing's confirmed, so handicap it the way you see fit here. A lot of times, the goalie, isn't as important to some people, but I try to list them, and it seems like we're having a lot of second stringers possibly today. But this is Anaheim in New Jersey. New Jersey's up to 195 now. 6/20.
Yeah, I mean, I had Blackwood in there. He gives up 4.17 goals, Gibson 5.96. But if I look at this one, the Devils are 3-1 versus the Ducks the last 3 seasons. They allow a ton of goals here. I kind of look to the Devils here to step up defensively. Home teams 21-8 in this series, favorites 15-5. I do like the Devils. I liked them better at -175. I don't like to go up too high, but I'll still take them here at -195.
Just on the money line, I take it for you. Okay, no problem there. These two teams are combined 5-0 so far to the over. So I think that's the way I'm going to look in this one, Mindy. I'm going to take over. I think the price, that's too high for me. I actually lean towards Anaheim at the price. You talk about, we saw the comment in there about some of these puck lines, but again, I think we're referring to those huge puck lines like we talked about with Arizona last night. Here at Anaheim, you are up to get a goal and a half. It's kind of, minus $1.60. I don't even know if I like that necessarily. So I'll go over as my free pick in Anaheim and New Jersey. All right. Next up will be Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. I'll keep checking the goalie information here, but this is one of those big favorites again in this one. So you got Tampa Bay right now, 285, 6 over 15. Yep.
Yeah, I just kind of find this one to be a interesting matchup here. Flyers are actually 4th in goals against here this season. So they're playing really nice defense. They're also 5th in shooting percentage, 10th in kill percentage, all higher than those stat lines for the Lightning here. If I take a look at this, the road team, they're 5-2 in the last 7 meetings. It's tougher competition than the Flyers have faced, but I kind of like them at this spot. I'm going to take the Flyers plus 220 as my free pick here today.
Well, yeah, hey, they're 2-0, and I like to, fade the Flyers every chance I get. But they're off to a 2-0 start. Now, they don't do very well. You talk about the road teams, but in Tampa Bay, already 2 losses. I mean, who'd have thunk it? But Philly 3-13 at Tampa Bay does worry me a little bit, I think, right now. But this series, 39-18-4 to the over the last 61. Now, I know that's a huge sample size, but that's well over, that's almost 70% of these games to the over. That's the way I'm going to look. The last 5 of the last 7 have gone over in Tampa Bay. Give me the over in Philadelphia and Tampa Bay, even with Vasilevsky. These two goalies, I think this might be the goalie matchup in this one, Hart and Vasilevsky. Not seeing any other, not seeing the other goalies mentioned at all.
Okay.
All right, San Jose now is going to be at the Islanders. San Jose, could they be worse than Arizona at this point? These West Coast teams having to start off on the road has not been a good situation, other than our Coyotes last night. But again, this could be a Reimer against Sorokin.
I know, but look at this, Ramon. The Islanders, they're 1-1-3. That's a 20% win percentage versus the Sharks in their last 5 games. I mean, the Sharks are also 4-1 in the last 5 meetings in New York. I know the Sharks have to be tougher on defense here. But they are sitting first in the league in penalty kill percentage. Islanders are the better team here. I look for them to win, but I look for the Sharks here to keep this one close. I'm going to take Sharks puck line plus 1.5 goals here, minus 150.
Gosh, I kind of want to join you, but I'm not sure I can at this point. I'll take it so we both can win. I'll just take the Islanders at minus 200 on the money line. Not I can't lay a goal and a half with them necessarily at this point, but I think they can win. So we both can win if the Islanders win by a goal. I think we're conflicting just a little bit, but that's okay. I don't. I kind of wanted to try to look deep into the total, but right now I'm just not getting a feel necessarily even in the market right now. But the public is coming in, looks like about 70% on the over. And I think with these two teams, again, I want to see maybe who's in goal for the Sharks, but I was kind of leaning under the 5.5 in this one as like a 2-1 type of 3-2 type of situation. So I'm just going to take the Islanders. We'll disagree slightly with our little pick there. We both can win in a way. All right. VGK taking on Calgary. Pretty good game. This is one of the marquee matchups of the season so far, I would think. And I think Calgary is probably going to end up having to go. They're going to go with Markstrom here, I would think, not Vladar. But we'll see. I've seen both so far, but maybe Markstrom, just because this is such a good game already, a big game.
Right. It's the battle of the undefeateds. The Knights, though, they're 5-1 versus Calgary over the last 3 seasons. Thompson, he's just been on fire. I mean, awesome. Only allowing 1 goal here per game. You could say the Knights have maybe not faced the stiffer, competition with the Blackhawks and the Kraken, and then you could say, well, the Flames, they've beat Colorado and Edmonton. But again, I like Vegas in this spot. I'm going to go with those Golden Knights.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, great price, I would think, on the Golden Knights to get them at, plus $1.40, considering, I mean, Calgary has that awesome home ice advantage, obviously, and this has been a home-dominated series. The home team has won 11 of the last 13 matchups when these two teams have met, and the total usually goes over here, but I like the way these teams are shaping up right now defensively, and you mentioned the goalie play also, so I think it'll be 6 goals or less in this one, even though, when these two teams have played in Calgary, it's usually been a high-scoring game, no doubt about it. 6-0-1 to the over at Calgary, but I got at 6.5. I'm going to go under, and this one is my free play with Vegas and Calgary.
And I didn't write it down. What did you say there, Ramon?
But I'm going to go under.
Under, okay.
Yeah, not a consensus. Do we have?
Well, I knew that, but I just
we better. I never just never just pick a consensus to pick a consensus. Well, and that's worked for us.
That is not our goal. Our goal is to find games that we officially totally agree on.
Yep, that was the brainchild of the GM and of Tony, and I was like, what are these guys talking about? Track the consensus. But it's worked out. I like what's going on. Okay, Buffalo, this might end up being Craig Anderson. Stuart Skinner is the only confirmed goalie, I believe, so far today that we've seen for Edmonton. I'm going to refresh it and see if any others, maybe I can mention it before we get out of hockey, but Edmonton, a huge favorite here. It's down to 220, though, and the total now 7 under 15.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a look at Sabres here on the puck line. Plus 1.5 goals at minus 120. I think they're going to be able to keep this one close versus the Panthers. I mean, they're scoring just as many goals here as the Oilers. I said Panthers, didn't I? As the Oilers here this season. The Oilers also kind of wind up in the penalty box here a lot. And then you have Edmonton that's only 13th in kill percentage in NHL. The underdog is 8-2 in the last 10 meetings here. Sabres are 7-3 in the last 10 as well, head to head. I like them on the puck line today. Plus 1.5 goals for the Sabres.
Yeah, they've won 7 of the last 10 meetings between the two, Mindy. I'm down with this. It's just too big a price. Look, Edmonton's a pretty good team. Buffalo, we'll see what happens this season, but not at $2 at this point, I don't think. I'm willing to ride with you here. I like it. I like taking the goal and a half with Buffalo in this one against Edmonton. See what Timmy says. Our Oilers
It's hard to
not
say.
as
It's
good
early.
this year. I don't know. I think at home they're still going to be pretty strong. They're at home here, but I don't know. I think I like to see what I see out of Buffalo so far. And in this one, let's do it, Mindy. There's a consensus.
Consensus play.
Taking Buffalo plus a goal and a half at Edmonton, and that is at what, minus $1.25 or so?
Yeah, I had it minus 120. I don't know if those
Okay.
have changed.
Okay, well, we'll get on the back end as well. We'll put we always put all of our consensus plays into the system here to track them, and you can subscribe to them in case you miss our show, or you can just pick them up on the fly. We just put them in a little package every day. You got to pay for that, but it saves you some time. So hopefully, and it supports Mindy and I to do this show every morning. And if we didn't have you, as much as we love Tony and the GM, they take care of us, but they're not going to take care of us unless you take care of us. We're independent contractors here, and we work on a commission basis. So we only get paid when we win.
That is true too. All of our packages are guaranteed. So we can't just, put up garbage, because if we don't win, if we don't come ahead, we win 2 out of 3 games, we don't get paid and you get your money back.
I don't think there's any shame in announcing that to anybody. I don't think we're going to get in trouble in saying that. In fact, if anything, it shows the legitimacy of the type of site that Tony has, the guys across the street, and some of the other, give them a little bit, not plug, but when you track your records on here like we do, third-party source, nothing we can do. Once our picks are in, those are our picks. They can't be changed. We don't have any control over that. Our records are what they show right on our profile page. So if we have a bad day, we got to come back. If we have a good day, hop on with us like we are right now, the Morning Steam team. Last game in hockey. LA coming in with Quick, Nashville, and Saros. What do you think here, Mindy? The Kings on the road. They're an underdog, and I'm showing Nashville now up to $1.65. Total 6/15.
The battle of the 2-2s here. I'm going to take a look at the total in this one. Quick allows 3 goals. Saros 2. Predators only scoring, 1 goal in their last 2 games, and the under is 4-0 in the last 4 meetings head to head. Under's 3-0 in the Predators' last 4. Under is 4-1 in last 5 playing on 0 days rest. Taking the under 6.
All right. Well, I didn't say it just so we get a 3-pack out of it, but I like the under as well. I graded this one closer to 5.5 over, and I was already leaning under coming in. Peterson could be in goal for the Kings. I don't know. Cal's played good. I don't think it's much of a downgrade. As good as Quick is, you get long in the tooth, if you will. And Peterson's a equitable replacement there as his backup. If Peterson is in today, I'm showing some of the sites listing Peterson as the potential goalie. So I'm not worried about which goalie it is here. And I don't know. I think Nashville's a pretty good side in this one as well. Kings have gone 3-1. You mentioned that what these teams. Nashville 0-3 to the under, right? Is that what you said?
That is what I said. Yes.
Yeah. So LA does not do particularly well in this series. They've lost 4 straight and 9 of the last 11 in the series. And I don't know. You mentioned it 1-4 to the under the last 5 meetings here in Nashville. Did you say that as well? So under for me, we got a 3-pack in the NHL, and we're hot. So let's play it.
That's right.
So
here we got
take the heat.
Our consensus.
Okay, yeah.
Canucks, Blue Jackets over 6. Sabres plus 1.5 goals minus 120. Kings, Predators under 6.
We will take the heat. You can come in here tomorrow and say, we love when you guys on the show tell us all great pick, great freemium. That it motivates us to come back every day. But if we clunker, we hit a clunker, come on in and say bad pick, and we'll just say, hey, you know what? We had a bad one. But this looks like a good card. Three plays for us in the NHL. So that's the games today in the major sports that we've covered. And let's get after it. We've got all those plays. We got the Celtics, don't forget, as well. So
Yep.
we did come up with a premium, though, in baseball, huh?
We did not.
That's
It
okay.
happens.
Yep.
We got more games left yet, Ramon.
We do. We're gonna get ready to go to college football Saturday.
Plus, I know how much you like to, be in action versus, when the Padres are playing. You're usually like, I'll just take a pass.
Right. Well, I don't know if anybody does this, and maybe I'm
Superstitious.
No. I mean, sometimes I put a little bet on the other team. What is it worth to me? Given my status economically in life, for the other team to, if the other team wins, what am I willing to pay for a Padres? Does anybody else do that? Is that bad? That's not gambling. I'm not handicapping the game like maybe I should, but I rarely bet on the Padres because I want them to do well. That's my team. So maybe I'll have something on the Phillies. Maybe I'll run line. That way the Padres win and I can still win or something like that. That's not a handicap, folks. That's not handicapping advice at all. That's I want to feel better if they lose.
Right.
All right, let's talk about football. I don't want to let anybody into my little secret world of Padre humiliation. Maybe this is the year. All right. We're going to college football now for Saturday, and we're going to start with the 12 Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific games and cover all those. And then the one game after that, Duke and Miami, that starts a half hour later. And then we'll continue on. Tony already has started on some of those other games that start at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, and noon Central. So you can start to get your handicapping done with him on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. And at the top of the rotation is UL Monroe on the road taking on Army. And Army here is a 7-point favorite. Total 56.5.
Yeah, I mean, this game kind of features two struggling teams, but, Army played pretty well in their last game. They came out with a win versus Colgate. It reminds me more of basketball than anything else, 42-17, while Monroe lost to South Alabama, 34-41. Army's, one-dimensional, but they're really good at it. They're ranked third in the nation, 316 yards of offense. Army knows how to keep the ball. Third down efficiency is 51%, 23rd in the nation. I just think they're going to be able to control the ball here. I'm going to take Army to win and cover this one, -7.
All right. Yeah, and I think you get a little bit of value here, too, in this one, as Army was as high as 9 on a look-ahead line. So you get a savings there, I think, of about 2 points, and now you're down to a key number of 7. So that does help you as well. I think for me, I'm going to end up probably leaning to the under in this one as my play. I've got a Service Academy play, and the total is 56.5. That's pretty much the gist of my handicap, I would think, in this one. Look, Army's, you mentioned their record, but they're still 1-5 against the spread. So that's what they'll have to overcome to get that number for you, Mindy. And I'm not sure. I can't get on board necessarily with it laying that number. They might win, but I'm not sure about covering that. So I'll end up going on the total here in this one under 56.5 in Monroe and Army. That's my free pick. And Mindy is on Army -7. All right, Mindy, let's go to Big Ten country now. And you've got Rutgers here, a field goal favorite against Indiana. The total here is 46.
Yeah, so both of these teams coming in on losing streaks. Indiana lost to Maryland 33-38. And then Rutgers, of course, lost to Nebraska by 1. Offensively, these two teams score about the same, but defensively, Indiana ranks 199th in the NCAA, giving up just an absolute ton of points here. Rutgers are 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games following a bye week. Rutgers, I think, going to have a good good game plan here versus Indiana. I like Rutgers to cover -3 at home.
Yeah, both teams do well off the bye. Um, I don't know. Rutgers has that good defense. I feel good about Indiana in this game after a couple of covers now for IU, but I sure wish that they're not obviously not going to get many more points than that, right? I mean, if anything, it's actually been movement with Rutgers, who had a look ahead line of -1, now up to -3. So I think for me, probably going to look to the under here. Big Ten game. I like Rutgers defense. I like that. This could be a field goal game coming down to the wire, and it could definitely be something in the 17 to 20 range to me, something like that. Maybe 23-17, 23-20, just something in there that keeps it under. And I'm going to go under as my free play in Indiana and Rutgers. More Big Ten action now, or should I say Big Ten blowout?
Not
Ohio
actually.
State. Most notably, the summer look-ahead line was Ohio State by 3 touchdowns. Now they're favored by 4 touchdowns, and the total was also a touchdown higher in the offseason at 56.5, and now we're looking at 49. So you have Ohio State basically a touchdown more favorite, and the totals actually come down a
Yeah.
touchdown from where we were in the summer. I mean, that shouldn't surprise anybody. But how is Iowa even going to score in this game?
I have no idea how they're going to score. I really don't. They're coming off a bye week. Ohio State beat up on Michigan. Iowa scores what? Maybe I don't know, what are they averaging? 7 points a game here, while Ohio State averages about 50. Iowa does have the fourth ranked defense that allows only 9 points per game. It's not going to be, the case here versus a really good Iowa
No,
State
not
team.
against Stroud and company.
So I'm going to go for the under 49 in this one.
Well, I want to agree with you. I'm just worried it's going to be like 49-7.
Right.
But oh boy, Mindy, I don't know. I'm going to lay 29 points as my free pick. I kind of want to. I want to play that under, but I'm just so worried that I think I'm serious. I think it was
I
49
believe
to
you.
7, 42 to 14, something like that to me, and it ends up sneaking over. So that we at least we got something on it, with both the side and total. I'm going to be on Ohio State to blow them out, to crush Iowa here. I think they'll beat them by 5 touchdowns. And Mindy's got under 49. Iowa so far has been a pretty steady under at 1-5 so far. So.
Yeah.
All right, Houston and Navy. Houston on the road here is a 3-point favorite. Maybe it's 2.5 juiced, but it's juiced pretty heavily. So, it's up to where you're shopping, I guess. This total, though, has dropped significantly just in the last 2 hours. I'm showing this total now at 51, down from 53, and I typed these in, Mindy, about 2 hours ago.
Yeah. And I saw that it went to 52.5. So that's kind of what I was looking at here, this morning. Both of these teams are coming off high scorers, with Houston, winning against Memphis 33-32, Navy losing to SMU 34-40. Houston, they score a lot of points, but they also give up a bunch. I mean, they've been giving up on average about 33. I think it's going to be competitive, and I do think it's going to be, a high score. The over's 4-0 in the last 4 meetings, between these two teams. So I'm kind of bucking some of this early action. I'm going to go over the 51 right now.
I am too, Mindy, and so let's have a consensus there with Houston 5-1 to the over so far, and this total dropping to 51. Just want to mention to Timmy in the chat. I want to flash your comments on screen, but I don't want to put it on the wrong game. I know it's hard to type in all of what you're trying to say, but if you can include at least one of the teams in there, and I can put your comment up on the right game. I don't want to put it up on the wrong game and give anybody the wrong idea and make it look like you got a losing play when you have a great handicap or something like that. Our buddy Timmy in there. So consider that if you can, just even one of the teams, just to make sure I have the right team on there if I flash it on the screen. But yeah, Mindy, Houston 5-1 to the over. Public's all over the over, so that bothers me because now the total's gone under. It's that sharp action that I usually, kind of get on there. And again, a military school, you kind of go under sometimes, but I'm
Right.
willing to go with you on this one. Let's have a consensus play on the over 51. I actually think Houston is the one that's going to carry this to the over. I like Houston probably in this game. Not tipping my hand yet. Anything could happen, but Houston's getting a lot of attention from Ramon Scott, at least in the early looks as to what he might be doing with his bigger selections moving forward. But let's go over as our free consensus play here. All right, this one probably will not make it on Mindy's 5 televisions on Saturday. A couple of crummy teams from the MAC combined 3 wins between them in the 13 games so far. Akron and Kent. Kent, despite their 2-5 record, is a 19-point favorite.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I have Syracuse, Clemson, Indiana, Rutgers, Iowa State, Kansas, Baylor, Duke, Miami. Yeah, I don't think they're going to make any TVs, 1 through 5 here on this one. And again, it's probably one of those I could watch on the tablet, put it on the ESPN Plus, something like that.
You wouldn't dare.
But Akron's last game, they lost to Central Michigan 21-28. Kent State lost to Toledo by quite a big margin, 31-52. Akron has one of those worst defenses here in the nation.
Terrible.
And Kent State, they offensively, average about 430 yards. That's well over 100 more than their opponents. Kent State 4-1 against the spread the last 5 home games. I'll take Kent State minus 19.
Okay. Well, again, I mean, they must be favored by 19 for a reason. I mean, like I said, both teams have crummy records. So that bothers me when laying that many points, certainly in this one. But, the statistics do, exactly what you said as far as what these teams have done so far. Akron really bad. And you talk about the defense. And sometimes you wonder, can both teams end up scoring? And that's what Akron will need to do because we know Kent's probably going to score. I mean, if you look at this game as it is, I mean, you're looking at, 45-25 kind of game type of thing. Because I've got this one going over 9-3 to the over, last 12 on the road for Akron with that crummy defense. It's a huge number, no doubt about it, at 66. But I don't know. I had about 72, 73 was my high window. So I'm going to go over the big number, Akron and Kent. It hasn't hit 70 yet, so I'm willing to go over in Akron and Kent. All right. Well, because I was playing, maybe this won't be the big screen game, but maybe it will. Because they've got another battle of undefeateds late in the season. How exciting for Syracuse. Congratulations. Wow. What a season they've had so far. And anybody who's been on Syracuse got a pocket full of cash so far this season with their 5-1 spread record. They're big dogs here against Clemson. Clemson's starting to get on a little bit of roll. DJU starting to look a little bit better every game, but what's going to happen here in this great game?
Well, I mean, they could get, main TV action, later in the game, depending on how that Ohio State-Iowa game looks, right? So maybe you have to switch it 4th quarter or something. But yeah, the battle of the battle of the undefeateds here, or unbeatens. I mean, Syracuse took out Florida State 34-28, Clemson over North Carolina 24-9. Offensively, they match up pretty even. There's only a 2-point differential between the two. And again, they're not giving up many points per game here. 13 points for Syracuse, 19 points for Clemson. Clemson beat Virginia by 2, Purdue by 3. So it's not exactly like they've been, blowing out their opponents here. So to me, that spread is a little suspicious. Clemson, they're 3-8 against the spread in their last 11 home games. I think Syracuse is going to be able to keep it close. I like them getting the points here.
All right. Taking those 13.5 points. I adjusted the total there because I see a drop here, Mindy, of 1.5 over the last 2 hours.
49, yeah.
Yeah, in this game. So that is very interesting. Interesting move there to the under, and it's a move that I totally can get behind. I was already looking to go under in this game. The action has definitely come in on the under here. Came in. I'm looking at my screen right now on Sports Insights, and the move came out at 6:04 a.m. They hit it under 51.5. I'm just, that's how I track the market. If anybody, I don't know if anybody else, Sports Insights tracks the steam, shows what sports book it comes out of, at what time it comes out, and I kind of look at those moves. Sometimes that's how I'm a market handicapper. Sometimes the stats go right out the window, and I'm just one guy, right? I mean, we all want to be the best handicapper in the world. We all want to be, we all want to win whatever. But I'm never going to be as good as the conglomerate of the public, of the sharps even. So I like the under here. This one for me was going to be a premium. So just everyone take note of that. I'm going to give it out right here as a premium. Under in Syracuse Clemson, 49.5. Top play for me.
We're going to start tracking your freemium soon as well.
Yeah, well, we did good in hockey yesterday. I know that. So, okay, but that I do like the under quite a bit here, Syracuse and Clemson. I've got this one closer just to about 42 points, actually. So I think that helps your cause too, Mindy. DJU, look, I think you'll be very good eventually there, but we'll see. All right, another good game here. Kansas and Baylor. Kansas, the story of the year, maybe in college football. Baylor, though, still going to be favored. And look at how this one has moved down as well, down to 7.5. This one was not talking about look-ahead line. I'm talking about this one open, early on as about a 10.5 point favorite. Now down to 7.5. Kansas getting ton of attention from the betting public already. So I don't know if that's always saying the betting public. Those are sharper bettors, early week bettors on Kansas again.
Yeah. I mean, that Kansas versus Oklahoma game, I mean, that was pretty crazy. 42-52 game. Baylor was defeated by West Virginia 40-43 and Morgantown, right? It's just a tough place to play. Both of these teams are scoring quite a bit. Baylor putting up 37 points a game, Kansas 40. Baylor, I do think, though, has the better defense. They only allow 24 points a game here. Kansas, they're ranked 177th in the nation. Baylor has this home field advantage. They're 8-2 in their last 10 home games. I like Baylor in this one, and I like it that it's getting closer to a one-score game.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, look, KU, we know they've been covering every game. Well, that one game was kind of a push. Some people, I'm sure, got a win on that. Not sure many lost on that game that the push came, but I really think under. I know both. I know what you said. Both teams scoring, but Baylor does have some defense there. I think Kansas defense is underrated. Considering, I mean, they've made big plays at key moments, and that's been key for them and their success so far. I think, look, the total is actually very, very reasonable, and actually at 59. I mean, that shows right there because this total was as high as 62.5. So to me, that's very, very sharp action. This is another, I'll just say another top play for me I'm giving out here on the show. I'm going to go under in KU and Baylor. It's another, it's probably right up there with that Syracuse play for me, to be quite honest. Both these games to go under. So hope we win, but I feel real strong about those plays. They would be premium plays if I didn't have this show that you guys are making me do and put a bunch of free picks out there. I'm just kidding. I love it. I love it. But again, it would be a premium. It would be. And again, sometimes I pivot off of Mindy because I may have a premium on the same side that she's on, or I may disagree with Mindy, and I don't want to come on. I'll disagree with Mindy if I want to save my premium, and I just have to, I still want to make a pick one way or the other. That's the way I work. I wait for Mindy to make the pick, then I make the pick. That's why we have our consensus picks. It's been awesome. Cincinnati and SMU, pretty good game here. Cincinnati a favorite on the road, -3. Total is 61.5. It's moved down. 61.5 moved down in the last couple of hours.
Yeah, both team here coming off a winner. Cincinnati beating South Florida 28-24. SMU, as we talked about, just edged Navy 40-34. I think the difference is going to be on the defense here on this one. Cincinnati only gives up about 20 points here per game. Cincinnati, they're 3-1-1 in their last 5 conference games. SMU, they're 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 home games. 0-5 in their last 5 overall. I'm going to take Cincinnati here. I think they'll win by more than a field goal in this one.
Let's get a consensus play, I think, going in this one. You mentioned, Cincinnati's already 5-1. You mentioned SMU's woes against the spread, much less winning. I say it's a good game because the spread shows that it's close, and I don't power rate Cincinnati much more than a 3-point favorite. If anything, it's just a tick or two above that. But for a free play, I was going to give out Cincinnati, and the fact that you lean to them as well. Let's go ahead and have a consensus play here with Cincinnati today. And I don't know. I think Cincinnati could roll a pretty nice number here, actually, in this game. They may give it up too, but I like Cincinnati as well to take care of SMU, and let's cover the spread. Let's have a consensus play with Cincinnati. All right, last game we're going to cover here on the show for today in college football, and this is going to be Duke and Miami. Miami's been a big disappointment spread-wise, certainly. They've been overrated for most of the season, so they're still big favorite here, though, 9-point favorite. Total is currently sitting at 58.5.
Yeah, I struggle with this one, right? Duke is, notorious for clipping Miami here in this game. Duke, they're coming off a loss to North Carolina, 35-38. Miami won their last one against Virginia Tech, 20-14. I was on Miami in that one at -8, so just missed it. I think Miami's strength is going to be their passing offense in this one. They ranked 21st. Duke has that really nice run game. But I think the edge here goes to the passer. I'm going to take Miami here to cover it. Again, this is not my favorite. Probably my least favorite out of these 11 o'clock games. But I'm going to go Miami. I think they can pull it off here, -9.
Well, we're gonna, I feel the same way. I think it's not my favorite game, but I like Miami. To win. I have them by double digits in this game. Look, I mentioned 1-5 against the spread, right? Look, I think they can hold Duke down. I really do. Duke has not been. They're 1-7 the under their last 8, dating back to last season. This series has gone under in 4 out of the last 5, and Duke, they're not covering any numbers in this series, right? So we're gonna have to, that's just the way it works, Mindy. Might not be our favorite game, but we have a consensus.
But we're doing it. Consensus play.
So we'll see how we do on that one. Well, interesting when we track that to see. Both like it. Again, I kind of have Miami, really around 12 or so here. So just because I think that Duke may have trouble scoring enough points to keep it within single digits in this one. So Miami is our consensus play in this one. So we did end up with a little 3-pack in the early games, huh?
We did. We got Houston, Navy over 51, Cincinnati -3, and Miami -9.
Well, that made up for yesterday where we couldn't come to an agreement on any of the first 5 games of the
Nothing.
week.
Yeah.
And I was
Right.
wondering if we'd ever agree again.
Ever.
So we do. We have 3 agreements coming up on Saturday. So, all right, Mindy, good show. We got it done, and I only had to go off screen like a half a dozen times.
Right. It
So
was
I must be getting better from yesterday, where I needed to take a minute like off of each game. I had to like go off
right.
screen. Wasn't feeling, but I'm feeling better, and I'll feel better tonight.
That's right. After that victory.
If the Padres can beat the Phillies. All due respect to any Phillies fans in our chat and all that, good luck to you as well. I know it's an exciting time for the Phillies as well. That's a great
That's
thing
right.
about
So I
these
said,
2
we
teams
get the
meeting.
Cinderella story here to the World Series this year. I like
Yep,
it.
yep. The Padres have had played in the National League Championship Series before, and they, beat Atlanta in a memorable series in 1998. They beat the Chicago Cubs in the greatest series that I've ever been a part of in my whole life when I was 15 years old, as I mentioned. So I'm just going to have a fun week of watching those games. We can, what do they got to play? Like 5 days in a row, something like that.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe that Padres bullpen that's red hot, that may end up being the difference in the series. Uh, I really think, and again, I know that there's been some criticism, but I think they have, uh, you know, Thompson's a good manager. He just got his extension, but I think that the Padres have one of the best coaching staffs in the game. I said that before the season, and I stand by that. And I think that we've kind of seen that, especially the way they were able to beat the Dodgers and perform down the stretch. I think a lot
Right.
has to do with the coaching staff keeping the team going after they got the bad news about Tatis, and he's subject to get booed when he returns, to the team. He's got a lot to prove. But head on over to Tony'sPicks.com where you'll find our premium picks over there. Absolutely, our best picks each and every day over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages, short term, long term, it doesn't matter. You can use the promo code TonyT every single time, whether it be a
Right.
$15 play, or if you want to buy our year-long package for $1,200, you're going to save 20%. We would love that.
That's
And
right.
yeah, and hey, we've had some already, so we love you guys to stepping in and getting involved with us on the show, and hopefully we can keep these numbers up as well. 3-0 yesterday for the Mornings team, and again,
That's
here's
the thing is every time someone buys a yearly package, that keeps us on the air another year. So you can help us out that way too, right? We're not going to get canceled.
yeah. Well, once those packages started coming in, and we appreciate that because all the picks are free here. But again, people want to make sure they don't miss the picks, and we're giving out some serious picks here. Right? So we know that you are a sports gambler, you are a sports bettor. You guys are big time out there. You're not dilly dallying around with like I do on the when I bet against the Padres. I just throw a little
Right.
token 100 here on the other team because I don't want to lose without getting some pizza out of it or something. But there's our morning's team record so far. Look at the NFL, Mindy.
I know, it's crazy.
22-10. Also, NHL 8-5 and MLB 31-25. What more can you say? And we'll get NBA going as well with our first play tonight. So there's those packages as well. You can save 20%. This is where you click on to get them. And there's our little good streak right now. Good run that we're on right there. A little 7-3 run last 10 as well. What do you have planned today, Mindy, with the 8 hockey, 2 basketball, 2 baseball? You think you'll have maybe 3 to 6 plays today on your private service?
Well, I know that I'm going to have 2 in the NHL for sure. I'm going to have 2 in Major League Baseball. I will have 1 in the NBA. So yeah, it'll be a fun day.
Okay, that's probably about the volume that I'm looking at as well. You can get my picks over there. Just click on my tab in the All Cappers tab to get signed up, and you find all of my records. This is what Tony loves, his website. All the new bells and whistles, and and I'll point it out too. I mean, look at my NBA. Okay, I'm up 25 units already. Since we started in January with Tony,
Right.
so 25 units. Most of that damage was done last season. NHL 13 units, NFL 9 units, NBA. This other some of that was some of the other NBA Summer League and things
Right.
like that. But look at all these major sports where I'm in the green, and that's what Tony's proud of having me on the staff, and I'm proud of it too. So you can rest assured that when you buy my picks, you're going to get solid picks, and Mindy there with the winning day as well, and she's been one of the hotter cappers as well. So all right, Mindy, great job, and we're going to catch you tomorrow on more Morning Steam. I think I'll be 100%,
All right.
close to 100% by then, and we want to thank everybody in the chat too. Awesome chat today. I want to thank Timmy, especially Matt, Edwin. Man, it was nice to see you today. Hopefully you're still around, but we haven't seen you too much in there, and so we appreciate you. Blake as well. Everybody that came to the chat today, and our viewership continues to go up. So thank you so much. Share it, please, on your social media. If you're one of those gambling Twitter people, just press the retweet. That's all we want from you. Yes, like and subscribe, do all that, but just share it on your social. If you're out there with other gamblers and you following other people, that's what's key to making the show. Like and subscribe just helps the algorithm on YouTube. But when you share our show with your friends and say, this is a good show, or watch these two, hey, all right. And Matt, Kansas Baylor, we did cover that game, so just hit the rewind a little bit. It's probably just about 10 minutes ago. And I will tell you, if you don't want to go back, Mindy's on Baylor laying 7.5, and I've got under 59. So there was a little bit of analysis there, but we appreciate Matt also joining us, and everybody joining us on the Morning Steam. All right. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.